What if the very essence of play, the joy of a game, was not just about diversion, but a direct byproduct of humanity's most profound scientific endeavors? Imagine a world where the most sophisticated machines, built for calculation and conquest, found an unexpected purpose: entertainment. The mid-20th century was a crucible of scientific innovation. Emerging from the shadows of World War II, the world hurtled into an era defined by the atomic bomb, the transistor, and the dawning space race. Scientists and engineers, once solely focused on wartime applications, now turned their formidable intellects towards new frontiers. Computers, gargantuan machines occupying entire rooms, powered by vacuum tubes and punch cards, were the crown jewels of this new age. They were designed for the most daunting tasks: ballistic missile trajectories, complex physics simulations, intricate code breaking. Their outputs were reams of data, not glowing images or interactive experiences. Yet, amidst this wave of utilitarian computing, a subtle yearning began to emerge, a desire to connect with these powerful machines in a more immediate, intuitive way. The concept of real-time interaction, where a human input could instantly elicit a machine response beyond a printout, was a radical idea. It hinted at a future where machines weren't just tools for data processing, but partners in dynamic engagement. The seed of the video game wasn't planted in a toy factory, but in the hallowed halls of cutting-edge scientific research. It was born from a fundamental curiosity: what else could these magnificent calculators do?
The story behind the first video game is inextricably linked to a different kind of computer, the analog computer. While digital behemoths processed discrete numbers, analog computers operated on continuous electrical voltages, perfectly mirroring physical phenomena. These machines were masters of simulation, ideal for modeling everything from fluid dynamics to the trajectory of a projectile. Our journey takes us to the Brookhaven National Laboratory in Long Island, New York, a beacon of post-war scientific exploration, deeply involved in nuclear research. Here, in the late 1950s, amidst the hum of particle accelerators and the glow of scientific instruments, a physicist named William Higginbotham played a pivotal role. Higginbotham, a distinguished scientist who had contributed to the Manhattan Project, was head of the instrumentation division. His responsibilities included designing and maintaining the complex electronic equipment used by the lab's researchers. Each year, Brookhaven hosted an open house, inviting thousands of visitors, scientists, students, and the general public, to witness the marvels of modern science. The challenge was always to make these complex exhibits engaging and comprehensible. Higginbotham grew tired of the static displays of scientific equipment and the endless rows of charts and graphs. He believed there had to be a more dynamic way to illustrate the lab's work, particularly the interaction between human input and machine output. It was an idea sparked by a simple observation. The lab possessed an analog computer that could calculate ballistic trajectories, and an oscilloscope, an instrument that could visually display electrical signals as glowing lines and dots on a screen. The pieces of an unforeseen puzzle were already in place, waiting for a flash of insight to connect them.
The flash of insight arrived in the summer of 1958. Higginbotham, observing a Donner Model 30 analog computer and an oscilloscope, realized their combined potential. Why merely display a calculated trajectory on paper when you could animate it in real time? He envisioned a simple game of tennis. A ball would bounce, influenced by simulated gravity, and players could control paddles. With the help of technician Robert Dworak, Higginbotham set to work. The tennis for two setup was remarkably straightforward, yet scientifically ingenious. The Donner Model 30 analog computer was repurposed to perform the game's physics calculations. Its operational amplifiers, resistors, and capacitors were wired to simulate the ball's parabolic trajectory, including the effects of gravity and bounces off the ground. When the ball hit the ground, the circuit would invert its vertical velocity, mimicking a bounce. The court itself, a simple line, and the net, another short line, were also created using the computer's circuitry. The display was an ordinary 5-inch oscilloscope screen. The ball was a glowing point of light moving across the screen. Players interacted using custom-built aluminum boxes, each containing a button to hit the ball and a rotary knob to control the angle of the serve or shot. When a player pressed the button, a pulse was sent to the analog computer, altering the ball's trajectory. On October 18, 1958, thousands of visitors lined up for hours, captivated by this novel demonstration. They weren't just watching science, they were playing with it, experiencing direct, immediate feedback from a machine designed for far more serious purposes. It was the first true interactive electronic game, a powerful testament to scientific repurposing.
Despite its immense popularity at the Brookhaven Open House, Tennis for Two was largely forgotten by the broader scientific community. It was seen as a mere diversion, a neat trick, not a significant scientific breakthrough in its own right. Higginbotham never patented his invention, believing it to be a simple application of existing technology, akin to drawing on an oscilloscope. He simply sought to entertain. Yet its legacy is monumental. Tennis for Two demonstrated something profound, that computers could be more than just calculators. They could be interactive environments, capable of simulating dynamic worlds and responding to human input in real time. It was a proof of concept for an entirely new paradigm of human-computer interaction, a paradigm that would eventually give rise to Space War in 1962, the Magnavox Odyssey home console in 1972, and the global phenomenon of Atari's Pong later that same year. Each step built upon the scientific bedrock of its predecessors, advancements in transistor technology leading to integrated circuits, then microprocessors, enabling smaller, faster, and more powerful machines. Today, video games are a multi-billion-dollar industry, a dominant cultural force, and a leading edge for scientific research. From artificial intelligence that creates incredibly realistic non-player characters, to complex physics engines that simulate entire worlds, to high-fidelity graphics rendering requiring immense computational power, to virtual reality and augmented reality that push the boundaries of human perception. The scientific principles behind gaming are more intricate and vital than ever. The humble glow of a tennis ball on an oscilloscope screen almost 66 years ago was not just a game, it was a vision. It was the spark that ignited an entirely new field, proving that science, in its relentless pursuit of understanding and innovation, can also create the most compelling forms of play. The story of video games, at its heart, remains a story of scientific ingenuity. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for more amazing videos.